We have the people. Let me unmute.
I can start the fucking
Go back to my desktop.
intro-y shit.
There we are.
Yeah, sweet. Alright, look it. Let's get it going. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and the fourth kind. My name is Commander Jathaal, and welcome back to the Wullfpack Community Podcast number 3. We made it this far. With me, as usual, is my co-host SirSuperDeath.
Hello. Yeah,
and
I'm
we are going
surprised.
to be talking about different gamery, randomy stuff with some Elite Dangerous and different bits and pieces tonight. Let's get into it.
I'm surprised we made it this far.
Yeah, I know. You know, usually our method of dedication is, can we be bothered?
No.
Alright, wicked. So, Super, you had some bits and pieces that you brought up while we were in TS earlier.
Fuck.
What? Oh, fuck. You can't remember. I knew.
Was it the thing about glasses and stuff?
That was one bit, I think. What else? Just trying to remember all the
shit.
subjects.
We should write this down, shouldn't we?
We should actually be
professional.
professional and
Fuck.
write stuff. I don't actually have a notepad next to me. Is there?
I don't know. Well, okay. We could all, right now we currently have a community goal. Well, it's not ours, but right now there's a community goal going on in Elite Dangerous. We can use this to stall. And there's a combat zones, all that jazz going on. Yeah, exactly.
Just while I sort out fucking. Yep. Just give me a minute.
And if you wanted, you can. Well, currently the WOJ Privateers Alliance, as well as Opulence Management Group, that is Buana's group. Great streamer. You should follow him as well. He has said that he's going to be siding with the natural services, so we have as well, and so has Privateers Alliance. So that should win, and when that also does win, depending on like what tier you get in the faction, you will either get the respected looking decal, basically. And I do have a screenshot of the decal, which is, I think, in here. Yeah, it is here. This is what the decal looks like. It's very, I don't know, interesting decal to say the least. I'm not sure what parts of it will change to gold and bronze and stuff. I think it might be this bit here, in the center. But we're moving in the right direction, at least, to get different coloured decals in Elite Dangerous. So, for CGs, at least. Turns out I didn't stall enough, chat.
Yes. Did you stall enough? Alright, so I've got a few bits written down. First topic for the night is the current state of the game, which we do this sort of as our first topic. Seems like every week we've done our current state of Elite the last few weeks, yeah?
Yeah.
So, what do you reckon state of Elite's in at the moment?
Right now, I'm liking Engineers a hell of a lot. I've been streaming it a hell of a lot. And it's not really been that much of a grind, to be completely honest. And then
there's the material side that's not super great, but you know.
Yeah, they're a bit annoying, and it kind of turned into a little bit of a meme where it was, is this an atypical stream, because I was constantly getting atypical disruption wake echoes or some crap, and I didn't want that. I wanted the other thing. It was, yeah, but I think right now the way the CGs are moving to where we're getting decals that are different colors based on how well you did, like, we know what tier you are type of thing, top 10, all that stuff. I class that as moving in the right direction. At least we're moving slowly, but we're moving in the right direction. So
the simple fact that we are moving in what a lot of players and a lot of hardcore players are seeing as the right direction, just because up until this point we've had decals and accessories and cosmetics that some of which have been earnable in game, but most of it has been either premium purchase or by out of game sources like LaveCon and stuff like that. Which, you know, I don't have any Lave gear because I'm sitting there going, well, what's the point in me buying a ticket to LaveCon except for the decal, because I'm in Australia and I can't make it to fucking LaveCon.
Yeah, exactly. And then LaveCon, well, yeah, no, LaveCon's actually in England. LaveCon is usually, I think in the, like, a little bit of the north. I think it's either in like the north of England or it's like down near Birmingham NEC. It changes around, it bounces. So yeah, and even I can't get there because that's just it's not really a lot of money. Well, it's too much money for what it's worth, even though it's seeing people and stuff. But still,
exactly. So the fact that they are giving us this opportunity to get things in game as opposed to out of game is really good, but at the same time I feel like it is something that is moving a little bit slow.
Too little too late for some people.
a lot of people, and that is another topic that I want to get into with some other games, but I think we'll cover a couple of topics before we actually get into that, because it is a bit of a heavier discussion.
Very true.
All right. So one of the topics that I wanted to get into that I'd been thinking about for the last few days was meta culture. So that is the culture in games where we, as players, are always chasing the meta.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time, it's chasing the most powerful gun, sword, bit of armor, whatever the
or in
game
general the
happens
broken
to.
mechanic.
Yeah, or the broken mechanic, and just trying to capitalize on that. Why do you think that actually exists as a component? I'd also like if we could get another person in here at some point.
That'd be great
to give their thoughts.
Well, we also have chat as well, so you know we do read chat.
Yeah, we do read chat. So if you are chatting, I think we're both moderating your chat at the moment. I think I've got Mary running mine.
Like in general, I know why it is, and it's probably the simplest thing, isn't it? Again, you know, humans are like water; they seek the path of the least resistance.
Yep.
So if they can see that they can destroy a ganker or a PvPer by using heat beams, you know, that was one of them in Elite.
Yep.
Because in quotes they're overpowered and take you up to 80% heat and upwards, and you start overheating, and all you can really do is just run away.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why, and yeah, that would make sense. But is there a way to stop meta? Go.
No, like
Not
without
really.
everything being on the same equal, even playing field.
Yeah, unless it's Sea of
boring.
Thieves.
Yeah,
But even Sea of Thieves has got a meta.
Exactly. So you've got
You can't win.
you've either got a game that is very samey, very boring, or you've got a game that exists with meta, and then everyone's chasing the meta always, and that's just how it is, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, it's like, well, that's really how things go. If you've got the most powerful gun in Warframe, the most powerful ship in Elite, even though technically that doesn't exist, that sort of thing, just
How the Division works. That's a very interesting game. That meta in that game changes a hell of a lot. Like it started off being hipfire being the meta, and then they changed out how hipfire worked and basically made it so that it was inaccurate as fuck. Like you'd somehow kill a dog halfway down the street when you weren't even aiming at it because hipfire. And then they changed that, so everybody moved away from that to like med packs and stuff. I think it was being the meta, and then went from that.
It was med packs. Like basically, you'd have two people with med packs. You'd stack them on so that you'd have full squad coverage and then cover an entire road. That used to be a massive thing in dark sectors. Not dark sector, dark zone.
Like that being like in general, like I'm fine with metas. I'm fine with the Tom Clancy Division meta because you have to work to get it usually. Like the current meta is 6. I think it was 6-piece nomads, which to anybody that doesn't play the Division, 6-piece classified nomads. They give you an over health of, I think it's, well, they basically start you with an over health of every fight. So you start with 180% like health compared to say the guy that you're shooting at who doesn't have nomad, who has just 100%. So you're usually going to win that fight unless they can obviously out DPS you.
And that's just a matter of then you go into the gun meta and it's okay, so this is the most powerful DPS gun to outshoot this person, etc., etc., which rip you if they're also running Nomad and also running the most powerful gun at the time. So, again, it really does come down to what the meta is at that time.
Yep.
So, yeah, again, I don't mind there being a meta, much like you. I think the main problem is that a lot of people do hate that, oh, this gun's meta because it does the most damage, and they bitch that out, and it's
You
like...
mean Healy beams?
Well, yeah, like, healing beams is absolutely brilliant example, which I like. I like that they fixed the fucking bug with it, finally. But yeah...
At least I think they did. I hope they did.
Fucking, yeah. And for anyone who doesn't know, it was basically the most cancerous sound you've ever heard. Look it up on YouTube. I can't explain it. You need to hear it for yourself. Yeah, like, healing beams was a great thing to be added to the game, and then
they were broken. And I
were
think they
broken,
still
then
are. I'm not sure.
They got nerfed a bit. So you really need to stack on, 4 mediums minimum is usually the sort of sweet spot with it, I guess. Yeah, that's really what the problem is. Like,
yeah, when they were broken, SDC, I think it was SDC, they had a Footer Lance in the center being shot at by, I think it was 9 or 10 ships, and being healed by 2 ships. And the Healy beams were out damaging all of the other ships that were shooting at that Footer Lance.
No, that really is what it comes down to. And yeah, like, healing beams are a problem, but the thing is that they do still take tracking, they still do take power. Like, you can't sit there and complain about that. But when they were meta, which they still kind of are, g'day mate, people complained that they were meta. And it's like, well, of course they're meta, they're useful.
They're useful, or they also do damage as well, obviously, depending on what, Healy thing you get.
Yeah, you lose a bit of DPS just purely because that's part of the modification. You getting that utility, but you lose a bit of damage, so you sort of got to balance that with your mods. Alright. So yeah, just meta culture. Opinion is that meta is fine, people bitching about it is annoying.
Yeah, in general, people should, I don't know, learn how to adapt. I think would probably be the best thing for them to do. Is if this is a meta, for example, if, like, okay, multi-cannons, again, Elite Dangerous, multi-cannons being a meta, it's adapt to it and fucking use it, And if you don't like using the meta, or if you don't like PvPing, go play in solo, or go play in a private group. That's the simplest way of saying it.
Yeah, if you don't want a PvP, and this is coming from 2 very PvE Elite Dangerous players, I'll play PvP in other games, but there's too much loss involved, I find, with ED, and because you are sitting in them, you gain sort of a personal connection to your ships.
I used to do PvP.
Same.
Used to, way before Engineers, and then Engineers came around and just made it into a grind fest where, you had to...
He who ground the most got the most out of PvP.
Yeah. Grind to win.
yeah, that was really what it was, and I think that was the meme going. Alright, awesome. So, we've gone over meta culture. What about hype culture? Which is one thing that a lot of games over the last few years have severely suffered from.
Let me go get the prime example.
No Man's Lie?
No Man's Lie? No Man's Sky. And the problem with No Man's Sky, that is a weird picture. I don't know why that picture's there. Let's just go get a random picture of No Man's Sky. That one right there. It's probably a shit picture, fuck. Okay, oh well, fuck it. Well, basically, yeah, No Man's Sky, the main reason that game failed is because of the hype. And because people were over wanting what it was going to be. They were wanting your mum to come along and give you a cat that's in a box, but actually wanting that cat that's in the box to be a fucking unicorn. Like, that was what people were wanting.
It really was, and the problem was also that it was handled by a dev who
couldn't shut his mouth.
He had no experience in PR at all, and like the problem I'm finding is that like there are games that are in dev, have had leaks and advertisement and all of that. I think one game that is looked at as hype as fuck is one from Microsoft that had like Terry Crews in it, and I can't remember the name of it right now.
Forgot the name of
The
it.
shooter with all the shit.
No, I don't remember. I probably would if I heard the name or like heard a couple of letters from it, but in general I don't know.
Yeah, there's that. There's Anthem, which is
Okay.
coming out.
That will flop.
in the
I'm
next-
I'm saying it. I'm saying that will flop.
I'm not sure if it will, but I know for a fact it won't live up to the hype because it's generating so much fucking hype.
Yeah, very true. Also, No Man's Sky is still $39.99 on GOG.
Yeah.
Like, well then.
Yeah. I don't really understand it. I don't think there'd be much, if any, demand for it. Apparently, they've made it into a playable game
They have,
these days.
yeah.
But again, we'll get more into the state of that in a little bit. Chat, if you guys want to chuck up any questions for us, or we can see about getting
Or any topics.
another, some more topics, or another human in here to chat with us.
Humans.
Goddamn you.
We could. No one's on TeamSpeak. Yeah, like hype culture in general is bad, and another thing is that they didn't do PR. Like, period. They just sat a developer who loves his game in front of a camera, and then people asked him questions, and he just answered them all. Instead of doing what Sandro does,
he mainly
which is soon.
answered it with yes, which was a big problem I find for him.
Yeah. You know how to say no, and know how to say no but actually not saying no. Basically be a politician. Like,
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to, is that play your politics, actually do a bit of screwing around with your bits and pieces. You just, yeah, it's... But for a guy who...
like,
Wow, okay. That's a paragraph and a half, and I'll get to that in a second. But for someone that hasn't done any sort of PR or actually worked with people inside an office, you're stuffed.
Yeah, we were promised a
so-
unicorn but got a potato. Yeah.
Yeah. The problem with the missing content, the lies from the devs about the game, just pop the bubble once. Yep.
That was again
it was
because
that-
he didn't. That was again Sean's fault because he didn't know like how to shut the fuck up. But as soon as they like took him away from the camera, this is what Warner was saying. Like we were talking about like, you know, No Man's Sky and stuff, and why No Man's Sky failed, and it's because because he didn't know how to shut up, and also after they took him away, and they started adding stuff like this image right here, which is the base building, like the whole base building in No Man's Sky. I've played No Man's Sky. The base building's interesting and is actually like quite fun, to be honest.
And I'm personally looking at buying the game now that it's had a fair amount of updates, but I still think that it's, you know, that wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle sort of problem, which is a bit of a problem. Just in and of itself, that if the gameplay loop isn't entertaining to do, then you've sort of got basically a glorified tech demo that people paid full price for, and that makes people feel ripped off.
I love some of the fucking pictures that we've got, like some of these pre-rendered, beautiful.
Oh yeah, like all the pre-renders. You've got to think, pre-renders, yeah, like stuff like that looks phenomenal, but at the same time, you sit there and go, "This is nothing new."
Yeah, exactly. Cough, Ubisoft. Cough.
That exactly leads me into my next topic: is dev overpromising. Now, it mightn't necessarily be as blatant as Sean Murray and his whole situation with No Man's Sky, but devs showing things that are clearly pre-render, are clearly things that have been, that might have been rendered in game, but then they've had several layers of edge and anti-aliasing and extra lighting and all of that added to them in post that isn't in the game. And Ubisoft is one big, massive fucking problem with that. Like,
Yeah.
Division's one, Division downgrade. Watch Dogs, same deal.
Yep, Watch Dogs. Yep. A lot of Ubisoft games seem to do this. Like, it's probably.
I don't know why.
I don't know why. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd go into it with that, but I think that's more a matter of hype marketing again being a bit of a problem. You get hype culture, make a game look absolutely flawless and beautiful, and get all these pre-orders, and yeah.
It's also Ubisoft's fault. Like, it's not only Ubisoft's fault, but it's most game developers' fault, I would say, because they're like they're showing these, they're showing these like pre-rendered, beautiful, basically looking like gameplay when it's not actually gameplay. It's probably just a pre-rendered fucking street to where nothing else is rendered in the whole bloody map. It's just this facade of this beautiful, street.
Very small area. That's something that we got with Destiny 2 is definitely one, and one that's still fresh in my mind. We'll be talking more about that in the next bit. Obviously, The Division, Watch Dogs. Christ, there are that many games that the devs have overpromised and underdelivered that it's a list that is almost beyond belief at this point.
Yeah, it's.
And I personally think that, again, going back to EA, I think that Anthem is going to fall into that very same category, unfortunately.
I think it will fall into that just for the pure reason of the hype it's gathering. Again, we keep bouncing back to the hype, but that's the ultimate problem. And part of me thinks is maybe it's because I think it's Cyberpunk 2077. I have a feeling that Cyberpunk 2077 will not lead up to the hype.
I think that it's... Look, my personal opinion is because of the amount of hype around it and because of the dev behind it, I think that if it lives up to even half the hype that it's after, then it'd be a fantastic game because it's got that much hype behind it.
Yeah, if it's a beautiful game.
That is,
well, because everyone's like, oh shit, they made The Witcher 3, which is basically the best fucking single player game out there.
Yeah, I personally agree. And if they give us something that is even remotely that plus Cyberpunk, then absolutely, man.
Yeah,
like
agreed.
I'm all down for that.
Like when they said beep on fucking Twitter, that just...
Everything exploded. It went mental.
And again, we do have E3 coming up soon as well, so we can see if... They won't give us anything. They won't show us anything. That's not what CD Projekt Red do, but...
I think they might, but yeah. This is a different thing. CD Projekt Red, they can actually think about decisions, brought us to Witcher right. Yeah, again, Much as I'd like to give every developer who's made good games and has done good stuff in the past the benefit of the doubt, over the last few years I've been so burned by devs like Bungie, like
Mass Effect,
BioWare, that I sit there and
we won't get it.
Same. No, you
Period.
If we get anything, it might be like just a teaser that's a little bit more expounded on what we've already got.
Yeah, you know what we'll end up getting? We'll end up getting this pre-rendered... Oh, no. What we'll get, and this would melt the internet, we will get a screenshot of the UI. And that would have been like working fucking, like, whip. That will be whip, UI. Work in progress. And everyone will flip shit, or just a screenshot of a hallway. either one of them things, people will flip
Yep.
shit.
Absolutely. Like, one other one that we actually haven't talked about was Deus Ex.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've played all the Deus Ex games up to this point. I own all of them, obviously. Probably sunk a collective 1,000 hours into the series and loved Human Revolution. Mankind Divided left me feeling a bit cheated. Just the
You
ending
wanted more.
seemed...
Yep.
Yeah, I really did. It left me sitting there going, yeah, but where was the rest of my game? And the paywall and all the bullshit microtransactions that pissed me off. But that's, yeah, a little bit. Might actually have to go and have another look because they have done patches. Yeah, it looked like Mankind Divided looked phenomenal.
Yeah. And again in Unreal Engine, so beautiful.
Yeah. It looked fantastic, and even on my computer with my old graphics card, it still looked good. But now with the new GPU, the new RAM, all the upgrades I've been doing periodically, I think it's going to look even better. But does make it a good game? I think that's a discussion for a bit later. But let's talk about dead games. Yes. So,
Okay.
Either actually dead games, so the ones that have effectively been abandoned by their communities
Or the
or
devs.
their developers.
Okay.
And then the games that people sit there and go, oh no, it's dead. It's fucking dead. So what are some games that come to mind when I say dead games for you, Super?
A dead game. I would say... Fuck. It's hard to think, isn't it, when you think of a dead game?
Like an actually, no one plays it anymore. It's concurrent, so maybe 2 or 3 a month, sort of thing.
I could cheat and go to Google and type in, lowest concurrent players Steam. Let's do this.
Yeah, shits and giggles. Let's actually have a look here. Do it live. Okay.
Concurrent. That's how I'm spelling it, guys. Don't judge. Players. Steam. Yeah, that's how you spell Steam. Steam. Okay. Stem. Concurrent. Chart. Okay. Now if we sort by, can we sort by lowest? Can we do this?
Just be on Steam Spy, yeah.
Yes. Steam charts I'm on right now.
Okay, there you go.
Top record. Is the lowest record? That'd be nice. That'd be hilarious. Okay, next page. Let's go. Oh no. Okay, let's page 80. There we go. Page 80. Oh wow, we're still okay. We're still 26 people.
Okay. So I'm talking about games that say for instance, dead game, World of Warcraft. Ooh. See, I don't think it's 100% dead yet. There's still a lot of hype for War for Azeroth or something like that. I can just check. I've got my fucking Blizzard app fucking open.
Many people would cast. Many people.
Battle for Azeroth.
Many people would class Elite Dangerous as a dead game, but it's not. It's really not.
No. It's really, really not.
Look at this.
What's its concurrence at the moment? Out of curiosity?
Concurrent. Average players. This is what we'll do. Average players is in the last 30 days is, 6,000. That's the average.
That's honestly, as an average, for a game that's 3 years old, made by a bit of an indie, not AAA dev.
Look at this.
That's still
these two here. January and February. Yeah. 12,988 in January, I think that is. Yeah. And 12,498 in February. That isn't bad. That's quite healthy.
No. Well, you got to think, at the same time, Elite isn't a game for everyone by any fucking means. One game that, WoW, a lot of people class it as dead because it's a very, very old game at this point. But at the same time, it's still getting updates. It's still getting... I think this should be its last DLC coming up in the next few months. One game that people like to, and even in this particular chat we've been poking fun at is Destiny 2, which
That's dropped
not
off.
as dead as it has dropped off. I will admit that, but it's nowhere near as dead as it has been, just purely based on like they did an update, not 4 days ago. That is, I've played it. It's good. It makes the gameplay a lot nicer.
There's just hey, look at this.
Halo.
No, the Division. No, that's still got a fair amount of players.
Yeah, the Division's still going. WoW's not dead. Absolutely agree. But a lot of people think that because its sub count went from the 5 million it was in 2015 or something it was, to something like 2.2 million over the last couple of years, it's just been slowly dropping off and dropping off and dropping off. A lot of people class it as a dead game. Yep, Halo 1, 2, and 3, agreed. Free Space, never even heard of it, sorry.
So yeah, that even fucking more like says dead game. So
Yep. But honestly, like Halo 1, 2, and 3, original Halo came out in like 98. I remember playing that when I was quite young, on an original Xbox, which was a lot of fun. Wrecking all of my okay, there's a good example. I think everyone's trying to get through the last of their Legion content to prep for Battle for Azeroth. So yeah, there's one good thing. And if you're a part of a WoW guild that or a group that plays a lot of WoW together, then if you've got a community that plays it, then you're going to have people to play. That's just really what it comes down to. Hell, I've jumped back in over the last few days. What are some other?
it's hard to think of like multiplayer dead games.
Yeah, like there's stuff like I think Rust has died off a lot.
Let me check. Yeah, Rust might have. I think Rust is still okay. Rust.
But, yeah.
Rust
I
is.
haven't been on it.
Oh god. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely dying. Look at this.
Dying.
Minus 1,161.5 gain. That's going down.
Yeah.
But it seems like it has their moments to where it drops maybe 4 and 3K, and then comes back up. It's weird.
Okay, so we got Black Kraken having a look. So many things you must count in. Player base maturing.
Yep.
Subscribers won't be as high as they once did. But with the same as Cyberpunk, won't be a Witcher-like game. I don't know about that. Like, I'm personally a fan of both fantasy and cyberpunk and sci-fi and like basically any sort of game genre. So I don't know.
Oh my, that dip! Look at this dip right here.
What's that for?
GTA. I don't know if that was release. I don't know if that was when like it came out, but there's a massive dip right there. That might have been when the servers went offline. But GTA seems like a very, steady when it comes to... It's not dead. Yeah, it's really hard to think of a dead game, to be honest.
Yeah, like the thing is that there's games these days, they're so everywhere and they're so... I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily say common, but at the same time, you've got the simple fact that there will always be games that will have their dedicated fan base.
Yeah. Like,
like Elite Dangerous is one good one. Rust, Ark, Astroneer, Doom. There's still people that play Doom multiplayer.
Like,
yep. Cheers, Black Star.
A game that I could easily say is probably Minecraft. Minecraft is nowhere near a dead game though. Like, I don't have the stats for Minecraft. But
it has a modding community that is still very much alive and well. The easiest way of seeing if an old game like Minecraft, like Skyrim, Fallout, honestly, pick one.
I know what game's dead.
Still dead. Hey?
I know what game's dead.
What?
It just came to my head. Okay, where is it?
while you're having a look at that, Kraken's saying that he sure hopes that Cyberpunk will steamroll and be the next Witcher production value. But everyone, I think, played. I'm inclined to agree with how they're going to judge it, but at the same time, I sit there and think, look, if they are mature enough to actually sit there and go, okay, here's what's going to end up saying. Like, if they can make it looking half as good as the trailer, which even for a 2-year-old trailer, it still looks fucking phenomenal. If it can live up to half the hype that it's garnered over the last 2-3 years since it was announced, then I think that it is going to be, if not on par, slightly better than The Witcher.
Yeah.
Even if it isn't, and it's say 20% worse than The Witcher, and it's a step down, and it gets 3 or 4 points less on Metacritic. At the same time, you sit there and go, okay, we're judging a game that is critically acclaimed, fantastic game with the same lens, but at the same time, it's still in its own right a fucking good game. It's not a sequel; it is a new IP that they're going for. Who the fuck is messaging me on TeamSpeak?
I know, right? I have that muted.
We got multi-twitch with a Demus.
Oh,
does a Demus want? Yeah, does a Demus want to jump in?
I think uses Discord. No.
He doesn't use Discord.
She doesn't use Discord. No.
She doesn't use Discord. My bad. Well, do you want to just?
We could go hop over to the streaming channel.
Not a Kraken. Sorry, mate. I'm looking at your PM in Discord, going, I don't know what your name actually says.
Oh, no, that guy. Oh, his name's Black Rain. Yeah.
Black Rain. Sorry, my bad.
I'm so glad I'm not the only person that couldn't pronounce that.
Yep.
No offense.
No, numbers and names, they do not mix very well.
The game that I'm saying is dead is Red Faction Guerrilla.
Yep.
The modding community is dead.
Yep. There is no mods. Honestly, I have it. I played it. It's buggy. It's still broken.
Yeah. They keep updating that, actually. It's really funny.
They can keep updating it, but I think one thing I will like to say about dead games that a lot of people have used for Elite, a lot of people have used this phrase for Destiny, and The Division, and WoW, and just pick a fucking game, and they've said it too little, too late.
I would class a dead game as... what number would you class as a dead game?
I'd say sub 20 per month.
Sub 20? If it's a single player game,
sub 100 a month if it's AAA.
If it's a single game, not a single player, if it's a single player game, I'd probably class that around maybe 100, 200. Yeah, that sounds about. That sounds like an okay number, but obviously if it's a AAA rated, that stuff. If it's a multiplayer game, I don't know.
Yeah, it's really hard to actually sit there and openly classify, yep, this game is dead. Because there's no real good way of sorting that out.
You know what game would be dead? This game.
Mm-hmm.
This game.
What game?
The Darkness. A game made by Darkness 2, a game made by Digital Extremes. It had an average players of 35, and then all of a sudden it peaked. It just went fucking skyrocket, and that is because it was free on Humble Bundle. And everyone got it. And probably everyone has at least booted it up and played a bit of it. There's 3,000 now. Compared to, however many people it used to have. An average players of 94. And, 80 and stuff. It was basically a dead game. But and then all of a sudden it's sup, bitches?
Yeah, if it's a matter of, just games that come out free or games that come out cheap. I think a lot of games get a lot of their play around sale time.
No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky, I wouldn't class No Man's Sky as a dead game.
No, it's a game that is almost
controversial,
universally hated community and the gaming press as a whole. But at the same time, there are still the fans that are sitting there going, nope, they've made it better. Don't shit on it that much. If you haven't come back and played it, or if you haven't played it at all, shut your fucking mouth. And I do get where those sort of players are coming from, but at the same time, yeah, that's the thing.
Exactly.
Right? Like, that it's really a question of what is the definition of it, and because games are so varied and so wide a thing, then there's really no way of straight up defining it.
I'm gonna class a dead game as something to. Okay, no. I know a dead game. Came to my head. Fucking. Let me go quickly. Where's Steam? F11. Steam. I've got it on Steam. Is it not Mud Runners? What's the name of it? Spin Tires.
Spin Tires. I was actually tempted to get that a little while ago.
It's dead. Yep. The developers have abandoned it.
Yep.
Completely abandoned it, and then the Spin Tires, that game is dead, but they became a new developer, like, got hold of it and basically gave it a lick of paint and made it look better, and that's called Spin Tires Mud Runners, I think it's called, which looks cool and all, but at the same time it's the same game, it's just got another developer on it, which will probably end up fucking leaving it dead again.
Abandoning it again. And I do agree with Miggles at the same time. It depends on what your definition of a dead game is. To me, that means a multiplayer game that has shut down the multiplayer infrastructure.
Yeah.
Paragon. For perfect example.
Paragon,
There's a legit 100% dead game, but at the same time, the guys who devved it, Epic, they've released all the assets for it, or they will be releasing it at some point soon, all the assets for free.
Yep.
God, there's going to be so much porn made with the in-game assets. Am I wrong, though?
And then the game all of a sudden will not be a dead game.
No, it won't be. But that's the thing, is that this is... Because there's no real good way, other than servers are shut down. There's, say, I would class Elite as 100% dead the moment they go, okay, no more servers.
Like, Dirt 3?
Yeah, Paragon died because of Fortnite. Yep. Fortnite and PUBG.
Dirt 3 isn't even dead. Really? There's 352 people currently in-game in Dirt 3.
Good on them.
Wow. Really?
It's a Colin McRae game, dude. Like, there are some hardcore car guys that they'll love those games.
I'm just scrolling down, seeing if there's...
Alright. Chat. Now that we've actually sorted the 5 topics that I prepared, big fucking air quotes, prepared. I did have them in my head. I just didn't have them written down so I could fucking remember them. But Levi, did you actually have any topics of your own to chuck into the mix?
I don't know. The one I had, which was kind of a weird one, which was the whole impact of technology and gaming on younger generations and basically children. It's like that doesn't only take into account, damage to eyes and damage to eyesight. That also takes into account.
That takes into the social.
Yes.
And
when people are, for example, watching YouTube videos and hearing people saying cunt, this, that, and the other, twat, blah, 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 calling people dicks, calling people bitches, maybe playing GTA, beating up a fucking woman in GTA, killing a hooker, maybe they think it's acceptable. I don't know, but that's, again, talking about violence in video games and how it affects people,
Okay. So, the weird thing is that I have a couple of interesting stances on this, just because I was there part of the whole Gamergate controversy when that was first going around, and I sort of saw it as a bit complete bullshit, because I'm sitting there going, okay, so if you look at it statistically, crime rates have died in the ass as of basically a month after the original Doom came out.
Mm-hmm.
So Doom comes out and violent crime starts to drop, and games get more accessible and cheaper, and they keep getting lower, and they're now at a really, really all-time low. And as to the cultural side of things, you sit there and go, okay, well, I'm having an impact and getting an impact from chatting to you, who is literally a guy on the other side of the planet.
Yep.
I've talked to people from all cultures, all backgrounds, from a multitude of different countries with completely different outlooks on life. That, to me, is a net good, regardless of what net bad people like to perceive on top of that.
One of them is probably the worst, and well, this wouldn't probably be technology's fault. This would be bad parenting, and it's there's a child that lives near me, and he is, I think, 10 or 9, and he comes over here to be with his dad, basically, and you know, he's at his mum's, and he is basically addicted to looking at the you know, tablet, or what, I don't know what tablet it is, probably an iPad, I don't know, but he's basically constantly on that. And when he comes over to his dad's, his dad says, well, no, you can't be on that, you know, it's bad for your eyesight, you know, you should be outside, because you're a fucking 10-year-old at the end of the day, you shouldn't be in front of a screen. And then, you know, and then so basically the child has stopped coming over to his father's because his mother doesn't you know, basically say you know, get off that. She just says basically go to your room. And yeah, that's bad parenting, and at the same time that isn't technology's fault, because they say, hey, you know, have a break and all that stuff. But I don't know.
I got look, my soon-to-be wife and I are looking at having kids in the next few years, and we've had a lot of discussion over the last few months of how we do parenting and how we actually, you know, handle introducing them to technology and all of that. I personally think that giving them access to technology, not a bad thing. Having the technology effectively overtake their existence,
yeah,
isn't right. But at the same time, I also have autism, so a lot of the time, if I'm in game, I exist within the confines of that space. That is where I live. So I don't think I'm really at a great spot to give much of an opinion, just because I don't live by my own sort of, oh, don't have it envelop them, but at the same time, I'll sit there and smash, you know, I'll chuck on anime for, what, probably 8-10 hours and fly an elite.
It's like me. It's like me. I'm here. Okay, I would class, this is obviously double standard at the same time, but if I were to have a child, you know, that miracle comes along to where I have a child, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't let the child be, you know, constantly in front of a technology or in front of a screen, because, you know, at the end of the day, they're a child. They should be able to run around outside, have fun, all that stuff. Obviously, it depends on how, you know, how that would change into real life. You know, how culture changes to where that would probably be classed as acceptable. But it's also bad for the eyesight of the child. So what I would probably end up doing is saying, okay, once you become old enough, you know, the number of hours you're allowed to be on the computer would go up and up and up, because I'm 21. It's no fucking secret, and I'm on I'm on computers. I'm in front of this screen for a long time, like 20. Well, probably like I've been on TeamSpeak for like 12 hours, probably 14 hours before. Well, longer than that, 70 some odd hours.
Much longer. We've like. I've gotten up one morning, you've been on, how long have you been on? 8 hours. I've gone to bed that night, you've been on all day. I've gotten up that morning and then gone, Levi, go the fuck to bed, god damn it.
I don't know, it's weird. And then it also is, because computers, you kind of lose the sense of time, you could say. At least I do. I lose the sense of time when it comes to pissing around on a game, or pissing around with Photoshop, or pissing around with overlays, like my overlays. you kind of get engulfed in that, and then next minute, oh, guess what? It's 5 in the morning. Get fucked.
Yeah, that's absolutely, completely agree with that. So while I sit there and go, oh, I want my kid to, it'd be, hang on, am I living by my own standards? Am I being a hypocrite at the same sort of time? So, like, if you're working an office job and you exist in front of a computer, that is how you are, that is what you do, and then you're sitting there going, nope, you need to be outside, you need to be doing that, it'll be, hang on, that's your kid. They're going to learn from you because humans learn from their elders because we're pack animals at the end of the day. Teach them? It really is a matter of, look, if I'm going to be a parent, I'm going to have kids, and I want them to be a bit more active. I'd like for them to have interaction with technology because that is how culture is moving. I'd like to also be able to set an example of, okay, get out there and get your hands dirty, go play footy, go run, go
you don't want bikes. You don't want them to be like a master of like an ace at computing, but at the same time unable to know what's a mint a mint plant compared to say a fucking nettle,
You'd
there's
like
some
them
things
to...
you need them to be able to do.
Like, okay, jump on, play games and all that with dad, that's fine, but at the same time, let's go out camping. I'd like you, if you're stuck and you need food, don't eat that ones, they will fuck you up, they will make you shit water for about 48 hours and you'll probably die of dehydration, but the ones right next to them, they're fine, and actually teach them that sort of things. Which, it's more a matter of what do you actually value in teaching your child, and realistically, I think culture has moved away from the whole teaching by example. It's just teach by tell at the moment. Wicked. Chat. Now, actually, did you actually... We'll have a look at chat and go through some of this stuff really quick, but did you have any other bits and pieces?
Did I have any more things to talk about? I could go, let me go quickly. Let me go check the news. Let me see if there's anything else. Let me do this. Google News. Where are you?
Dead games still. Design decisions on material gathering in Elite. If it's fun, it's not a grind, right? Ooh. See, I don't find the material stuff to be grindy. Like if I'm driving around Dav's Hope, that's a grind. For me, that is grindy.
Yep.
This is just going back to Rain's comment probably 10 or 20 minutes ago, however long we've been on the RL and culture topic. If I'm driving around Dav's just getting materials because I need materials for fucking trade, then that's grind. That is 100% grindy. That is all it is. But if I'm literally just plunk my ass down on a planet and I'm going to go shoot some rocks and dick around and find some sites and have that isn't grinding to me because I'm gathering and doing all of that stuff, and I might be on a specific planet looking for a specific resource, but at the same time, I'm not just sitting there, grinding, doing same repetitive task. I'm driving. I'm still having to, navigate around rocks and shit terrain and, try and go fast and do flips and make it actually interesting. I think a lot of people while in a sandbox, they rely too much on the game to hold your hand and tell you what to do. Yep. Which, the sandbox game, mate, that ain't fucking happening.
Like, I don't know. We could always talk about how artificial intelligence is starting to fucking, escalate and get, a lot better.
The escalation of the singularity. So,
like... what I'm mainly talking about is the how the astronomers used artificial intelligence to spot 60,000 I think that is. No, that's 6,000. I always add zeros. New craters on the moon. Like,
no, I did read this story. That isn't.
That's quite old.
It's probably like 2 or 3 days, but I did read that article. So while yes, it is classed as an artificial intelligence, it's more
of an algorithm.
Virtual intelligence. It's basically a predictive program. So it's data intake, and they can spot things on a much smaller scale than the human eye can, and that's really what it comes down to. Yep. They give them a set of parameters and go, okay, AI, here's this load of data or pictures or whatever it really is, go through it and look for these specific parameters, and then they do. That wouldn't be what I call AI. AI is more...
Autonomous.
It is AI, and it is... I'm talking more autonomous, self-learning, needs to be shackled in order to not, destroy humanity styles.
Skynet!
So, yeah. No, in effect, that is one of the most ubiquitous terms for AI. So, yeah, no.
I'm just gonna stop reading some of these news because some of them are just interesting.
The Sophia AI. So,
oh.
Yeah, I know of it. The very heavy Uncanny Valley thing. Actually, yeah, Sophia AI. Levi, let's have a look. And it is very Uncanny Valley because you're sitting there going, it looks so close to being human, but at the same time, I'm looking at it going, it's really fucking not.
Oh. Okay, no, that's creepy. That's fucking creepy.
Yeah, right? But at the same time, she can give fairly realistic responses.
Nah, that's creepy. No thanks. Nope.
Yeah, I know, but at the same time,
if they made the face look better, I'd be fine with that.
It's the Uncanny Valley effect. It's that it's so close to being human, but at the same time, you're looking at it going, it's fucking not, man. It's fucking not. Yeah, I said she because the AI itself is personified as a female, and that I think was a very, very good marketing tool because it makes it a lot less imposing because we see females as not as threatening, even though a woman will fuck you up.
Yeah,
women will fuck you up, man.
I don't know. It's interesting. We've also got Twitch stuff. This is mostly rumors. Yeah. There's some of the Twitch stuff that's going on.
Well, actually, I think they're implementing some of the Amazon deep brain learning or deep learning software.
I'm talking about Twitch starting to get kind of told to do things by Amazon a lot more, to the point where it's like, well, you're gonna do something or we're gonna start firing people type of thing.
She or it, she, whatever the fuck you want to call
God.
Sophia. Yep, I know it's creepy to give it a fucking gender, but is the first AI with citizenship in the world, and funnily enough, hasn't actually passed the Turing test.
Yeah, the Turing test is outdated as fuck.
It is, but it's something that, as a baseline, would be very useful.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's also very worrying, depending on how far the AI goes. Just don't give it a solar panel, please.
That's when you start getting into, do you need to shackle it? Do you need to, well, legally, via the UN, you need to write into its base code Asimov's 3 laws, which we've seen in iRobot, which, again, was the basis for Asimov's 3 laws, that they are not infallible.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if any of you are not familiar with Isaac Asimov, I really do implore you at this current point to go and have a look, find some of his work, because it almost seems prophetic, much the same way that a lot of people are sitting there going, 1984, hello Xander, how you doing, mate? A lot of people are saying that 1984 is, again, a few decades off the mark, but a lot of people are saying that it was damn near prophetic, so much the same sort of way.
Don't shackle the AI. Don't do that. That'll just make that'll just make them hate you more.
Either that, or I don't know, try and impart like an innate sense of morality, but at the same time, you start getting into the moral question of, okay, but whose morality? Who's the moral arbiter of truth in this situation? What do we actually tell them is right and wrong?
And then also, and then you've got the whole thing. Do I crash into a car of? Does an Or an autumn.
Does an automobile
Yeah, that one.
kill one person to save 5 people?
Yeah, or what?
Or or for means of self-preservation, crash into 5 people because they'll do less damage to it and the person driving it. So
It's like,
what line of like
and it gets confusing and morals and a lot of other shit, which I'm not going to talk about today. That's for sure.
No. Like we've talked about like, what, 3 different kinds of culture and state of elite and all of that. So yeah, we've done a lot of stuff. Chat, if you guys have any sort of subjects that you'd like brought up, just as a matter of, we're sort of coming to the arse end of the stream. We've been doing the podcast for about an hour, and we usually like to stop at around an hour. So if you guys have any subjects or bits and pieces you'd like to chuck in, we'd be more than happy to have a chat about them.
Yep. And then obviously, you know, when we are offline, you know, you don't have to wait until we come online next time. You can if you want. We don't mind. But you can, you know, message us in Discord if you want, or you can join the you know, WOJ Discord and be like, hey Super, or hey, you know, Jathaal, how's it going? I had an idea about what you could talk about in the podcast. Blah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we aren't the most creative humans. We like to talk about stuff and, you know, use our brain melons and flex the grey matter every now and then, but we aren't the most creative, so we can't always come up with topics that are particularly entertaining. I don't even know if this is the greatest content for you guys who are watching, so thank you for tuning in. But if you guys have any questions, please feel free to let us know.
Yep. I don't know. Should we? We'll let chat catch up for like a couple of seconds.
Chat catch up and see what the go is.
Yeah, and if chat doesn't say anything, I will probably end up ending, because I have a stream in probably like 2 hours time as well. So.
Oh, you've got your ED one, or?
Yeah, my ED stream, which will be probably combat zones, and all that stuff. So.
Fair do.
And it's also very hard to like keep the stream away from elite topics as well.
It is, because well,
there's a lot to talk about with elite, but it's very hard.
Yeah, there is.
To like,
you know, it doesn't seem like there's a week that goes by that elite doesn't come up in some sort of internal community controversy or anything like that. So, wicked. So we've got no further questions from chat. Sorry that you tuned in so late, Xander. I think this is about the normal time that we start streaming generally.
so a non-elite zone. Well, I don't know. It's just no, but yes, but no. You know, we don't want to.
We don't want to be like completely nailed down to just okay. So here's what went on in elite this week. That gets boring, because then you just always bang on about the one thing. We'd like to actually broaden the topics to things like bringing in Warframe and different games coming in and tech going, and, you know, like Tesla just continuing to launch their, or SpaceX, same fucking company, well, same CEO, different company, good job, dickhead. They are continuing to launch their free internet for the world. Yeah, that's generally what we try and do, Star Wars.
Yeah, state of the game and keep moving.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah. I think that's going to be it for us tonight. Yeah, Thank you everyone for tuning in to our Wullfpack Community Podcast number 3. If you have liked it, please chuck us a follow.
Agreed.
Always very much appreciated. We'll be back here streaming different gamey things, maybe some Astroneer, maybe some Warframe, maybe some other bits and pieces at some point, and we will always be streaming on either Fridays or Saturdays for different bits and pieces for our community podcasts.
Schedule down below, of course. Sorry.
As usual, you know, just have a look at Super's fucking schedule. Thank you, Mike. Yeah. As always, I've been Commander Jathaal, and yes, Super needs a camera. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah. I'll fucking mute my microphone now. Have fun. Bye.